Welcome to Flick Club. It's like a book club, but for movies. I'm Taft the Man, and on this channel, we're going to discuss awesome movies. If you're going to run a YouTube channel that talks about awesome movies and you happen to love classic action movies, you can't not talk about Sylvester Stallone. Now I know the right thing would be to start off with Rambo or Rocky, but I wanted to look at something a little different, and I'm talking about Cliffhanger. So the movie opens up with the crew of a mountain rescue helicopter going to what should be a routine rescue, because in actual fact they're rescuing one of their own friends, Hal, who's twisted his ankle and therefore got stranded at the top of a mountain. Sylvester Stallone plays Gabe. Gabe is a super experienced hero mountain climbing type, and as soon as they arrive at the mountain top where Hal is stranded, it turns out they can't land the chopper because of high winds or something, so he has to basically erect some sort of zip line between two mountain peaks. Now, Hal is with his girlfriend who's not an experienced climber, and this is kind of our first clue that something might go wrong. And sure enough it does. Halfway through her ziplining across the two mountain peaks, some thingamajig unbuckles or breaks, and basically she ends up hanging by a thread, so to speak. So Gabe goes over and tries to rescue her, but they end up in this situation where he's literally holding her by one hand and her glove slips off and she plummets to her death.
Please, please, I don't want to die.
You're not gonna die!
Don't let me fall.
Yikes, this is just the beginning of the movie. So 8 months later, in a completely unrelated yet soon to be related incident, some US Treasury jet that's delivering some cash gets hijacked by another jet in mid-air, and a group of thieves are ziplining across from one jet to another. There's a lot of ziplining in this movie. There's ziplining these cases of cash from the Treasury jet to their hijacking jet, but something goes wrong and the Treasury jet explodes and some cases of cash fall and land on top of a mountain. In some small town at the foot of the Rockies, Sylvester Stallone comes back to town. He's looking all sad and depressed because, you know, his friend's girlfriend died 8 months ago. So he goes to his ex-girlfriend's house, Jessie. She's the chopper pilot, by the way. He just wants to pack up his stuff and leave to go back to whatever hole he's been hiding in for the past 8 months. But you see, those robbers from earlier on, they've landed on top of the mountain and they've called in a fake distress call, pretending to be hikers stranded at the top of the mountain. So Hal, being the only available climber, has had to go up to rescue these stranded climbers because, again,
Winds are too strong to get a chopper up there.
Jesse basically guilts Gabe into going after Hal on the top of the mountain so that they could hash out whatever differences they have. And boy, let me tell you, Hal is not pleased when he sees Gabe at the top of that mountain. He obviously blames Gabe for the death of his girlfriend. Anyway, after some emotional stuff happens, they decide to go rescue these stranded hikers together. But oh no! They weren't stranded hikers for real, it was the robbers. The robbers force Gabe to climb up some dangerous peak to get their suitcase of money, but Hal warns him that the robbers will kill him once he brings the money down. They shoot a bunch of bullets in Gabe's direction and cause an explosion and avalanche, and they assume he's dead, so they move on to look for the other cases of money with Hal as their new guide now. Meanwhile, Gabe, because he's played by Sylvester Stallone, does Sylvester Stallone things and he decides to go after the money ahead of the guys using a different route because he knows the mountains so well. So like a whole lot of mountain shenanigans and action take place. I don't want to spoil it too much. But the ending has this awesome fight between Gabe and Quaylen, the main bad guy, on top of a helicopter that's dangling off a cliff. It's awesome. Sylvester Stallone is as muscle-bound and action-packed as ever in Cliffhanger, but this movie does so well because of the supporting cast. Michael Rooker plays Hal, and he puts in some solid work, but the bad guys are where the most entertainment is in this movie. They are cartoonishly bad, but it works. This is a 90s movie after all. John Lithgow is clearly having the time of his life playing Quaylen, the main villain, and his performance carries the movie for the scenes that don't have Stallone in them. But this isn't to say that Sylvester Stallone himself doesn't put in a good performance. Aside from the action, he is acting his ass off in this movie. The director Rennie Harlin gives us a 90s action masterpiece, but that's not surprising coming from the guy who gave us Die Hard 2, A Long Kiss Goodnight, and one of my favorites, Deep Blue Sea. If you like the content I make here, support the channel by subscribing. And don't forget to drop a like when you find a video that you like. Also, invite family, friends, and other movie lovers to subscribe to the channel.